One key factor, though.
Yeah.
And maybe he's waiting to see what happens in this one.
Right.
The future of Odell Beckham Jr. It has felt as if it's closing toward being a done deal.
It does seem like
Odell
it's close.
Beckham Jr. selecting the Cowboys. Here's Dak Prescott from yesterday, Chris. Let's see if there are any clues from what Prescott said about OBJ that makes us feel even more strongly that Beckham will be wearing a star on the side of his helmet. Here's Prescott.
We're getting him in. Hopefully everything's going great in the recruiting process. He knows how much I've won him here, and a lot of these guys in this locker room I've seen have reached out on their own in different ways to make sure that, he understands that this is a team that he can help, and we want him to come help. Yeah, definitely I've sent some messages, been a little back and forth, just making sure he understands that, that we want him here, and that, as I said before, I understand it's a business, but right now I guess it's who can recruit better, I don't know necessarily about what he's looking for when it comes to the numbers and long-term and all that, but I know that we want him here and hoping it all works out. Mutual, honestly mutual. And that's the reason I say business, is knowing it's more than just somebody's feelings of wanting to be somewhere. So, understanding that will come into play, but feeling like it's mutual.
Chris, this is the ultimate off-field example of the 14-point swing. And he's played it perfectly to set up the Cowboys against the Giants, because the Giants haven't given up. And at a minimum, I think the Giants want to force the Cowboys to pay more than they want to pay. If the Giants really don't want him, and it's hard to tell, it's a new regime, but it's still the same ownership. I'm surprised Beckham would even want to go back to the Giants, given that the ownership is still the same, and ownership wasn't thrilled with him when he was there. And Eli Manning, and there was friction between Beckham and Manning. He's still involved in the team. It may just be Beckham is playing one against the other to get the most he possibly can from Jerry Jones. But it's fascinating. The two primary contenders for OBJ are squaring off tomorrow. They're in the same division. They're fighting for the same positioning. And whoever gets him is going to be better and will keep their rival, their arch rival, from getting better in the process. Fascinating mid-season free agency tug-of-war playing out before our eyes.
Yeah, it is. It's a little, rivalry within the rivalry here, and certainly could help out both teams. I'm with you in the fact that, like, Odell, I'm surprised with the whole Giants thing as well. I had heard that there was interest in him, like the Giants, not necessarily from the Giants, but that Odell had kind of had the Giants on his radar early on in this whole process here, and I was a little surprised to hear that too, with the way things ended. And I was also wondering the same thing you were. Like, would the Giants even really want him back? I mean, from pure football reasons, it makes sense. It does, especially for the way their team is right now. They want to run the ball. Daniel Jones runs the ball. Saquon runs the ball. Teams play man-to-man. They don't really have that guy that can scare you. Darius Slayton's kind of emerged as that guy. So that's where it makes sense. I don't know if it necessarily makes sense for Odell, though. I don't think the Giants are ever going to be a team that's going to really be like, throw the ball 40 times a game. We're going to play through Odell and the passing game and make things happen that way. That's where I would be like, it's a little dicey as far as the Odell decision there. You could end up going to the Giants and playing a lot of games where I feel like, yeah, you could come away and Saquon runs the ball 25 times. Daniel Jones runs the ball 14 or 15 times. A few other guys, and you go, yeah, you only got 2 or 3 targets today. Dallas, I feel like there's a better opportunity for him to be on the field and get the ball on a more regular basis, especially with the way they're playing right now. So that's where I'm with you. I feel like it's kind of going that way. He's from that region of the country. We talked about that the other day. I'm just surprised that Buffalo has seemed to have escaped the conversation here, which I don't understand. But I understand Dallas wanting him, and I think there is a real need for him to get them over the top to make them a real Super Bowl football team.
The first word of Beckham flirting with the Giants emerged earlier this year after Sterling Shepard
got hurt.
His ACL.
Right.
He went to visit Shepard, and it wasn't technically a visit to the team. It wasn't reported by the team as a visit because he didn't meet with any coaches or executives or personnel other than Shepard. And I know that there are some in the league that still think that should have been officially reported by the Giants. It doesn't really matter. Everybody knew he was there. But the bottom line is he went back there. He was there, and he talks to Shepard. Shepard says, I talk to him every day. We don't talk about his decision too much. He knows we want him here. He would love to be here. But everything has to play out for that to happen. There's a whole bunch of intangibles that have to play out for him to be here. I understand that. This is a business, and his business has got to be right for him to do it. And Shepard was asked the question of, will the winner of the game tomorrow have an edge? I don't think it would hurt. To be honest with you, I don't think it would hurt. We'd be coming off a pretty big win, and it definitely wouldn't hurt. I can say that. And remember, week 1, Bills-Rams, he joked, whoever wins, that's who I'm signing with. He may be not joking going into this one. Cowboys-Giants, whoever wins is the one that he's signing with. It's the sign. You know, we always look for a sign when we can't make up our minds. Show me a sign. What better sign than the two contenders squaring off in an athletic competition and one winning and the other losing? There's your sign.
I gotta see it. I gotta see it to believe it, really, as far as the Giants beating Dallas. I do. I have a hard time thinking that's gonna happen. You know, when I just look at the matchup overall. You know, I get into the question again is, like, you know, first off, the first matchup, we didn't even have Cooper Rush, right? You got Dak Prescott this time. Remember in the first matchup, the Giants got away with all those holding calls down the field. Remember that? That was kind of the theme of the game. Like, they're not going to call penalty on the Giants tonight? I remember sitting there and let alone there was people open a few times when they didn't hold, where I was like, oh, man, if that was Dak Prescott, the Giants would have been screwed right there. Oh, my gosh, right? So that's where I get into it, and that's where I get into back to that Giants run game. Like, yeah, can the Giants run the ball on Dallas Cowboys? I don't think they're going to be able to. I think Dallas is going to crowd the line of scrimmage, and they're going to put the game into Daniel Jones' hands and go, can you in the passing game beat us? And that's, you know, now the next, you know, piece of this puzzle. And I just don't think the Giants have enough pieces in that puzzle to scare the Cowboys in the pass game enough. As we just discussed, Darius Slayton's really the only guy that, if you're playing bump man-to-man, where you go, ooh, man, this could be a little scary. This guy could run by me and go to the house. Other than that, there's nobody that exists on their roster that's like that. And I just think that's tough against a Dallas team that's got some really good cover guys and some, you know, a pass rush and all that. So I guess what I'm saying, Mike, is I don't know. If the Giants can't run the ball, I don't know how they win the game. I guess that's what I'm saying.
And, you know, that's a theme that has been relevant all year. Run the ball, stop the run. And you're right. If you can't run the ball against the Cowboys, you're going to have Micah Parsons and company all over you, and it's going to be very difficult to get the passing game.
Can they replicate Justin Fields and the Bears and what they did a little bit? You know, that's the other thing, too, that we saw. That gave them some issues. Yeah, crowd the line of scrimmage, but he's faking the run here, and a quarterback that's got some speed and enough to get on the edge and scare us that way. You know, maybe the Giants will have answers in that department, but I have a hard time believing that. And again, even with Dallas, I know they lost 2 weeks ago to Green Bay, but even watching that game back and everything, I mean, there was no question in my mind they were the more talented team on the field. They just had some game plan issues that I think if they played them again, they'd readjust. And Dak Prescott didn't play well in that game. I look at Dallas to be a little bit in another class compared to the Giants.
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.